Google, what is Gab?
According to Wikipedia, Gab is an American alt-tech microblogging and social networking service known for its far-right user base.
I live in Europe, so it would say that sort of thing. But I have to tell you that due to logging on to Gab and Wumble, which are basically the same organisation, based in Pennsylvania, I think, in the US, I have to say that as I logged in there to give support to Russell Brand, you know, the British guy, he's a bit of a commie, really, but he really can be a very funny guy, and he's really pointed out the crimes and the control of Big Pharma and the Matrix. I'm sorry to have to say that after my brief stint on Gab and Wumble, I have to say it is pretty much dominated by gossipy old men, you know, gun-toting, pretty paranoid, anti-European, anti-British Americans. Yep, I'm sorry to have to hate to say this, but it's true. Because I went on there and made a contribution to Russell Brand, it was £60 for a year. And as soon as there's a guy on there called Tommy, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, and there's another guy on there who I've had dealings with before, who destroyed my family, called Paul. I'm sure you'll know who there were some past connections where I handed out leaflets. I volunteered to make him a load of money. But I'm sorry to say that as soon as they found out for certain who I was, as soon as I put my address in, because I wasn't trying to hide who I was, you know, I'm quite proud of my surname, as I should be. It's the 5th century. My surname comes from fighting for the king, etc. As did my dad, my granddad, my great-granddad, and all the way back hundreds of years. But I'm sorry to say that as soon as they found out who I was, they altered my username to something that was going to, you know, lead to me being hated, something I didn't want to move to. And then they kept sending their, like, basically, you know what they do when they block you, it puts you in this authentication loop where it keeps asking you to change your password, and Google messes your password up, or it's a virus or something, I don't know. But long story short, I do not recommend for any European, even if you're a loyal Polish or loyal Italian, even if you follow Giorgia Meloni, or you know, Richie Sunak, I do not recommend Pennsylvania-based Wumble or Gab to any well-meaning, loyal patriots at all. At least, certainly not if we're in the US, because I started following President Trump, I started following Russell Brand, I started following Candace Owens, all well-known conservatives. I was going to start following, what's his name? Names aren't my head now. Well-known guy who ran Prison Planet. There were several conservatives on there I really wanted to follow and give support to, financial support if necessary, which I could do. But they just put me in this, they basically blocked me and gave me this gossipy name who they learnt off Paul. Yeah, that Paul, the same Paul, the far-right Paul bully that's battered at least 2 women, that's been put in jail for like 20 odd weeks for racially aggravated assault. Yeah, that Paul. Yeah, who doesn't want to tell you or doesn't know that this old fella, this David, was a struggling, hard-working welder and mechanic for donkey's years in Liverpool, and I looked after my 4-year-old girl whose mother sadly died, and I looked after her for years till she was 18. 14 years I looked after her, and the then partner I had, the younger partner, all she did was basically screw around for all 12 years of the relationship and blow the money on Converse and trainers and bullshit scratch cards. She never even got a job in 12 years, even though I fully supported her. You know, I was working whenever I could. I was working full-time at a grotty garage in Liverpool, which really ruined my health and my looks. And obviously, I did the lion's share of the caring, especially with a disabled kid. So, cut a long story short, long story short, I do not recommend Gab or Wumble, but you know, at least If you're not a true patriot, certainly in Europe or Britain, avoid it like the plague, because it's dominated by Tommy the powder snorter and pathetic Paul, the woman abuser, racist. Okay, see you guys. Call it a day. Bye bye.